Albert. Put it down.
What? I was checking the time.
You were not checking the time. You unlocked the phone, swiped twice, and your thumb immediately went to the exact spot where your social media apps live. I watched your eyes do the little tracking thing.
Okay, fine. Busted. Caught red-handed within the first 5 seconds of the episode. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm Albert, and I am a smartphone addict.
Welcome, Albert. Thank you for sharing. And I'm Anna, your co-host, who is also currently hiding her phone face down under a notebook, so I don't look at it while we record this.
Today, we are tackling the digital elephant in the room, screen time. Specifically, that little rectangle of glass and metal that sits in your pocket, on your desk, and probably next to your pillow right now. Are we actually addicted, or is this just what modern life looks like now?
It's a fascinating question because the definition of addiction has shifted. We want to look at the psychology today, how these apps are literally engineered to keep your eyes glued to the glass. But we also want to do some real talk. We're going to look at our own embarrassing screen time stats later in the show.
Oh, God. I'm genuinely terrified for that segment.
You should be. But before we get there, let's talk about the phantom vibration. Have you ever felt your phone buzz in your pocket? You pull it out and there's absolutely nothing there?
All the time. Sometimes I feel it buzz when my phone is literally sitting on the table in front of me. My thigh just decides, hey, it's been 3 minutes. Let's pretend someone loves us.
Let's manufacture a notification. It's a real psychological phenomenon called hypovibretemia. Our brains have actually rewired themselves to anticipate the phone so intensely that a muscle twitch near your pocket gets interpreted as a text message. That is wild to me.
So let's talk about why our brains are doing this. Because it's easy to blame ourselves and say, oh, I just have terrible willpower. But the truth is, it's an unfair fight, right?
Oh, it's completely rigged, Albert. If you look at who designs these apps, they aren't just software engineers. They are behavioral psychologists. They use something called variable rewards. Do you know what else uses variable rewards?
Slot machines. Las Vegas.
Exactly. If a slot machine gave you a payout every single time you pulled the lever, it would get boring. But because you don't know if the next pull is going to be a winner, you keep pulling.
Wow. So every time I pull down to refresh my feed, that literal pull to refresh motion, it's exactly like pulling the arm of a slot machine?
It is identical. You pull down, there's a tiny half-second delay where the little wheel spins, which creates anticipation, and then boom, either you get a win, a funny video, a like, a text, or you get nothing. If you get nothing, you don't stop. You just pull again.
That's sinister. And what about the notifications themselves? The little red dots. Why red?
Because red is an evolutionary trigger for urgency. It looks like danger or fruit or blood. It demands attention. If those notification bubbles were a calm pastel green, you'd ignore them for hours. But that bright red dot, your brain sees it as a fire that needs to be put out.
I actually changed my phone settings to grayscale for a week last year. Everything was just black and white.
Really? How did that go?
It was incredibly depressing, Anna. Instagram looked like a documentary from the 1930s. But you know what? It worked. I didn't want to look at my phone anymore because it was boring. The world lost its flavor, but my focus came back.
See, that proves the point. We aren't addicted to the tool. We don't get excited about a calendar app or a calculator. We are addicted to the psychological slot machine inside the tool.
All right, the time has come. We promised the listeners we would do this, and I am a man of my word, even if it destroys my dignity. Anna, look into your settings. What is your daily average screen time for this past week?
Okay, pulling it up. Oh no.
Give us the number, Anna. No hiding.
It says 5 hours and 42 minutes. Daily average.
5.5 hours? Anna, that's a part-time job.
Wait, let me defend myself. To be fair, about an hour of that is using a GPS navigation app while driving, and another hour is playing music or podcasts while I cook. So it's not all doom scrolling.
Okay, that's fair. Background audio counts toward the screen being active sometimes, but still, 5 hours is a lot of life. What's your most used app?
It's a tie between a short-form video app and my messaging apps. Okay, your turn, Mr. Judgmental. Turn on your screen. What's your number?
Okay, opening settings, screen time.
Albert, are you frozen? Did your screen time break your brain?
It's 6 hours and 12 minutes.
6 hours? And you had the nerve to gasp at my 5 hours? What are you doing on there for 6 hours a day, Albert? Are you running a small nation from your pocket?
I don't even know. It says here my top category is entertainment and social. Honestly, it's the evening. I get home from work, I sit on the couch, I tell myself I'm just going to relax for 10 minutes, and suddenly it's midnight. My legs are asleep, and I've watched 40 videos about how to restore rusty axes in a forest. I don't even own an axe.
The algorithm knows you better than you know yourself. But think about the math of that. 6 hours a day is roughly 42 hours a week. That is literally a full-time 40-hour work week spent staring at a screen.
That is terrifying when you put it that way. I am working a full-time job for free for tech companies.
Let's move on to how this is changing our actual day-to-day lives outside the screen. Have you tried to read a physical book lately?
It's painful. I used to be an avid reader. Now I open a book, I get through about 3 pages, and my brain starts itching. It feels like my mind is looking for a hyperlink or a notification.
Yes, we've lost the capacity for deep attention. We are so used to hyper-attention, where we switch tasks every 15 seconds, that sustained focus feels like running a marathon in sand.
It affects how we watch movies, too. Have you noticed people can't just watch a movie anymore? They need a second screen. You're watching a show on TV, but you're also scrolling through your phone at the same time.
I am 100% guilty of this. If a movie has a slow scene where characters are just walking or talking without music, my hand automatically reaches for my phone. It's like an involuntary reflex. We are treating a lack of constant stimulation as an emergency.
Help! Nothing has exploded in 30 seconds! Quick, check the news! It's wild because we're losing the ability to just be bored. And boredom is actually where creativity comes from. When your mind wanders, it solves problems, it creates art, it dreams.
Exactly. If you fill every single empty micro moment, waiting for an elevator, standing in line for coffee, sitting at a red light, with a screen, you never give your brain the space to process your life. We are essentially constipating our minds with information.
Mental constipation. That should be the subtitle of this episode. But think about the social aspect, too. You go to a restaurant and you see a couple sitting across from each other, both looking at their phones in silence.
It's sad, but I also get it. It's a comfort blanket. If a conversation hits a slight awkward pause, the phone is there to save you from having to do the hard work of human connection.
I wonder how this affects kids who have never known a world without this. We grew up at least remembering what dial-up internet was like or playing outside until the streetlights came on.
Right. We have a baseline of the analog world. But kids born today are handed iPads before they can even speak full sentences. I saw a toddler try to pinch to zoom on a physical magazine page the other day. She thought the paper was broken because it wouldn't expand.
No way. That's wild. But it makes sense. To them, the interactive screen is reality, and the physical world is the exception.
There's a lot of debate among scientists right now about what this means for development. On one hand, these kids are incredibly tech literate. On the other hand, empathy is learned through eye contact and reading facial expressions. If you're looking down at a screen instead of at your friend's face, you miss those subtle cues.
It's not just kids, though. I think older generations are getting hooked, too. My parents used to tell me that video games would rot my brain. Now, my mom is stuck on level 4,000 of a candy-matching puzzle game and ignores my phone calls because she's in the zone.
The tables have turned. Mom, put the tablet away and eat your vegetables.
Exactly. It proves that this isn't an age thing. It's a human thing. The technology is just designed perfectly for human psychology, regardless of whether you're 8 or 80.
Okay, so we've established that we are in deep. The system is rigged, and our attention spans are ruined. Let's talk about solutions, because I don't want to just complain for an hour. How do we fight back?
Well, like I said, the grayscale trick works, but it makes your phone feel like a funeral. What else is there?
One thing that has worked for me is physical distance. Out of sight, out of mind. If my phone is on my desk while I'm trying to write, I will pick it up. But if I physically lock it in a drawer in the other room, the laziness overrides the addiction. I don't want to get up and walk to the kitchen just to check a notification.
Ah, using your own laziness as a shield. I love that. For me, it's about setting no phone zones. The biggest one for me is the bedroom. I bought a cheap, old-fashioned alarm clock, the kind that ticks and has actual bells on top.
The ones that sound like a fire alarm?
Yes. It's terrifying to wake up to, but it means my phone doesn't stay on my nightstand. If my phone is next to my bed, the last thing I do before sleep is look at it. And the first thing I do when I wake up is look at it. Moving it to the living room overnight completely changed my sleep.
That's a massive win. Another one I like is the app timer feature. You can set your phone to lock you out of an app after 30 minutes. The problem is, the phone asks you, do you want 15 more minutes? And I always say yes. I lie to my own settings.
You're hacking your own security system. Yes, I authorize this override.
We are coming to the end of the hour, which means it's time to put our money where our mouths are. Albert, what is our challenge for the listeners and for ourselves this week?
Okay, here is the challenge. For the next 7 days, we are doing phone-free dinners. Whenever you are eating a meal, whether you're alone or with family or friends, the phone has to be in another room or face down in a basket. No checking, no photos of the food, no quick glances.
Oh, wow. No photos of the food? That's gonna hurt some people, Albert. If you don't post the avocado toast, did it even exist?
It exists in your stomach, Anna. That's where it belongs. I'm doing the challenge too. Let's see if we can get our daily averages down by next week's episode.
Deal. I'm aiming for under 4 hours. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today, guys. If you listened to this entire episode on your phone, thank you for using your screen time on us.
Yes, we appreciate being the exception to your digital detox. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and let us know what your screen time numbers are. Are you beating us, or are you secretly in the 6-hour club with me?
Be honest. See you next time, everyone.
Bye.